If you're new here, this is how I open my videos. Getting mentally prepared for the workday or month. Or life, for that matter. Let's get into this table. And the trials. First of all, this conference table was commissioned by an architectural firm. One slab came from a place called Jones, Oklahoma. Another from St. George, Kansas. Both slabs were wet. So that was the kiln. Moving on. Probably one of my least favorite experiences is building forms. Why? I guess it's because I've built hundreds of these. That's a little dramatic. Maybe 100 of these or more. I don't know. My brain appreciates efficiency. Form building can feel like an interruption of my time, but that's okay. It's important. Let's refocus. The slabs were back. I was trimming them up, and these are the legs, which actually was an idea I had pinned on Pinterest for years. So I'm very excited about this to show you guys. My clients went for it. It's an I-beam with the logos cut out on each end of 4 legs. My idea did not account for weight though. Each one weighed easily around 120 pounds. Yeah. Back to the slabs. Eventually I picked them up from the kiln and took them straight to the CNC shop, which is what you're seeing now. The truck you see is my truck, but this was before the accident that I was just talking about. Yep, that means some of my film is out of order. I'm telling on myself already. Let's keep it moving forward though. At this point, it's time to talk about those real trials and tribulations that occurred during this build. As a maker, you should price each order with the idea of setbacks in mind. Whether it's timing, epoxy leaks, there should be a little bit of wiggle room in your budget. Now, you're not trying to kill every single client you meet on price, but you are trying to run a business. So I've mentioned this before, but a conference table is sort of top tier for a client in the table maker world. It's the kind that you want to draw. Why? Just want money. I don't know how to say that. The more money, more problems. Unfortunately, during this project, I incurred about $16,000 in problems during this build, not all associated with the build. So that's why you see me open videos like this. I need some little in-between time to deal with. And that just helps me process what is going on. So life's tough. But we won't make it all negative. One thing I do want to consider while you're watching some of these short little in-betweens is the reality is you have a life to take care of. So even when you're pricing products, don't apologize for your prices. Most artists I've met have a pretty honest view of the product's worth. As in, I rarely meet people that overprice their ability. The products are typically worth the sticker that I see. That's just my professional opinion. I'm done yapping about that. So this table was priced out just under $13K, which is a decent price point for me. Mind you, I incurred a personal expense with my car accident around $14,500. Fortunately, most of that was covered by insurance, not all of it. And I did incur other expenses that added to this balance. The point being, you can't price one product and try to pay for your entire life, but stay with me now. Some of it involved this table, and it was paid out in time. During the flattening process, me and the guys, we discovered dreaded water pockets in the slabs. This is the pouring process. Poor me, I had no idea what was going to happen. So I'm pouring this, everything red dry. Yes, I check my slabs. I try to make sure the guy at the kiln checks the slabs to make sure they're dry. Walnut is infamous for this, and I talk about it over and over and over. I did notice during this cure process, I had some edges that were tilting up. They were coming up. Typically, I cover the whole slab in epoxy to have both sides balanced. As in, I've sealed both sides, the top and bottom, which is on the bottom of the form. I think that may have contributed a little bit, but this is the part where I start to discover that there was some trapped moisture. And I'm really going to find that out when I get back to the CNC shop, which is where I'm at right now. We don't know it yet, but bad news is coming. What does that trapped moisture do to wood? It wasn't in the entirety of these slabs. trapped moisture is not good. It causes abrupt movement. That's basically the gist. Is your piece is imbalanced. Wood needs to be balanced. That's how you get a table that will stay flat even though it's real wood, and you seal it properly, you sand it properly. It needs to be balanced in its moisture throughout the entirety of the piece. It doesn't matter if you've sealed it with plastic. That plastic will crack away from the wood. Anybody with some experience knows that that can and will and does happen. Fortunately, I had a little technique that I used and I was able to remedy this process. Here's another expense. My $500-something saw got off track and started to cut into my project. Yeah, tore my track up too. And those tracks are like $120 a pop. Expenses. But we're getting into the completion. So good news, saved the slabs, got rid of that moisture for the most part. I balanced the slabs out. I'll talk about that another day, another video, another day. It's something I'm still trying to get all the science down on, so I don't want to speak on something I don't have a complete understanding on. We got a lot to finish. Oh, I'm about 10 orders behind. I mentioned this table was worth around $13,000. I'll be honest, that was not enough for this project. What? Yes. Unexpected issues, delays, handling of the project. I would charge closer to $20K on the next one, maybe more than that. Now, unexpected issues are not any fault of the client, so you can't try to accommodate for what your life might cost in a single project. That's not fair. That will get you out of business really fast. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the time involved in this project, the effort, the handling of it, the subcontractors I got involved on it. There were a lot of unforeseens with this one that wound up digging into my profit. Again, no fault of the client, but you do have to be prepared for those things. So ultimately, $13,000 with a portion of that being profit, not all of it, spread out over 3 to 4 months, gets thin really fast. And the fact that this project was pretty time consuming sort of interrupts your workflow with other projects. You're seeing my point by now. But it was a beautiful piece. You know, it's something that I enjoyed to do. I do other things, as I've mentioned in other videos, to stay liquid. But I really enjoy making art pieces. I'm consider myself an artist. I'm not just a carpenter, you know, and that's how I feel about it. But you see here that I've taken it to around 320 grit. My go-to choice on finishes is typically Odie's oil. So you can enjoy a little bit of a video seeing the grain reveal. It turned out really nice. And I was able to spread it pretty good. Nice, beautiful color. The only part about this video at this point, this is about as good as the shots get. My camera work was not the best towards the end of this project. I was in a little bit of a hurry. I didn't account for the lighting when you see the delivery here shortly. But some of the shots, the grain is just, oh, it's just crazy. These slabs did turn out really nice, especially in the voids that were filled. We were sort of going for a charcoal, not just a black. We were having issues with the charcoal epoxy, so we went ahead and went to a completely black epoxy, and it turned out nice. The logo, we used only one color of their logo that they had. It was a really nice orange color. Sidebar with this, when I fill logos, I use a local store-bought epoxy. It just works out to dry faster. It lays cleaner in that thin little layer that was less than a 1/4 inch deep. If you can understand the chemistry of epoxy pretty good, then you can understand on how to, you know, avoid bubbles, and you can mix pigments with local store epoxy. It's not a secret, you know, recipe that you need in the formula of the epoxy. But here's a wide shot, beautiful table, the I-beam legs, everything. What a cool piece. There was a little bit of maintenance needed even after delivery, but it really turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty proud of this piece. And this slab right here, the single slab that you see, killer. I got better pictures than I did video, so I apologize in advance. It's pretty hard to tell all of the character of these pieces. I am extremely proud of how those turned out. Here's the delivery. We did have to go up a couple floors, but there you go. Now, I'm happy with this project. Again, but take it from me, it's not just tables, it's tables and trowels.